Right. We're hungry for lunch, so I'll be brief, but more importantly, the word agentic has happened a lot, and I think the era of hallucination is happening as well. Rezolve's primarily the end-to-end stack for agentic commerce, but Rezolve also is a very strong pioneer of their own homegrown models, which are patented. Now, if you look at the customer journey which we cater to, it bottles down to today, how many agents, how many models actually are real-world solving problems. If you Google the hallucination definition and model drift, you'll realize that it's a lot of errors on top of errors, indexed on errors. Now, it takes a lot of time to actually invent a model, train a model. And what does the model do? When you train a model, what it allows you to do is it sets context. It sets reasoning. And when you say 300 billion tokens, and now our models are trained on 20 billion tokens. Now, when you train them and then you deploy it on a brand product discovery and a conversational intelligence, what it allows you to do is it starts to set reasons. It reasons with you. It gets you context. It gets you the right recommendation. That's actually the real world use case. And, there was a very interesting news which happened between Walmart and OpenAI yesterday and how that is affecting the whole industry. And that's where Rezolve stands out. 30 patents across their own models, continuously getting trained, ultimately to solve what? Better discovery, better search, and better conversion, and postcard, a better handling of the complete fulfillment. So that's what Brainpowa is. We are in the Microsoft Foundry. We have our own model garden. And when we have our own model garden, we have a fair few models from what we're going to see in the next few slides. Now, what is Brainpowa's core differentiator? I mean, Brainpowa, part of the engine which actually hosts models and agents. You will see the pipeline, the tool calling is a piece of kit which you're going to hear more and more and more you work on LLMs. This keeps the LLM on point. This keeps the LLM fast. This keeps the latency low. And this conversational intelligence where our models got patented are something very interesting you will see, barring the sentiment and intent classification, which is very popular now, is reasoning and empathy processor. That's a mouthful, but you need to reason with a digital concierge when you are a faceless, nameless thumb. Literally, you're a faceless, nameless thumb on an app, and you're reasoning with that. And there's empathy in a digital concierge. There's an empathy in a store assistant on an app or a .com or a contact selling. Now, when you do that, that's true human-like. That's not just intelligence. And of course, over 10,000 ways of sales happening as a digital concierge is got trained up on. So we trained up on all types of sales closures. A customer waiting, a window shopper waiting, hesitant, on the fence, no, not thinking of buying, thinking of buying. How do you convince somebody who's a compulsive shopper? That's what the sales closing capability in the model got built, which leads to any retail brands who are using us exactly like a store assistant on the first day of his job to the 6th month of his job is aware of the brand, is when you walk into a store, they will figure you out. They will try to say, welcome, Mr. Banerjee. What are you looking for you today? Do you wear UK 12, size 12? And then what happens is it starts reasoning. Imagine that experience on the site, on the .com, on the Android, iOS apps, and on the call center, where you actually will be able to have sales closure techniques, not trained up, but trained up in real time, 100 times faster. So that's important. Yes, there are some measurements in the whole stack resides on data. So the more we get data, so I can pick up, example, this mic will have 5 attributes or 8 attributes of this. You can put it in Brainpowa and it can now come up with 50 attributes saying, okay, in shop talk, there was this guy sitting on stage. What's the context of this mic to this stage? The general attributes won't tell you that. They will say, this mic got used in Shop Talk Spring in the month of March. It got used up again in 10 other conferences by 10 different speakers, the same product. So that's why the data enrichment becomes important. Same product by a brand will give you only a set of attributes. You put it through Brainpowa, it extends. 20 attributes become 200 attributes within minutes. This is fun. You know, when you build something called reasoning and empathy processor, you're literally kind of grooming your 5-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 10-year-old. How do you teach them to reason? You get taught that in school. How do you teach empathy? You know, that's impressionable. Empathy can't be taught. It's impressionable. You gather that through life experiences, through value systems, through belief systems. Now, you put empathy in a model which talks to faceless, nameless thumb, what happens then is you're building genuinely a frontal cortex in a digital model and an algorithm. It sounds far-fetched, but it's working actually within Rezolve's core Brainpowa models. And those are some of the models which are actually getting trained. And I think we'll keep on inventing more human-like emotions in models in retail. And I think that will be the next frontier in the next few months. Very, very specific. It's multitasking model. The guy who's in a product detail page has a very different point of view and a different mind space at 7 p.m. in an evening when he or she is on a cart, when he or she is booking a holiday with the family, huddled around a machine, has a very different mind space. That's why you need multitasking commerce models to work on different form factors. And that's where Rezolve's championing the whole piece across. And when you bake a model into a consumer journey, you face various different types of reactions. Good, sometimes not great, but that reaction teaches the model a lot more. It's continuously teaching it again and again and again. So that's where our specific multitask models work. From discovery, from search, from advanced search, and then conversational search is a behavioral changing. I mean, I'm evangelizing something called conversational experience index for the new world of conversational AI. We used to hear customer obsession index. Now it's conversational experience index. How do you measure conversations? 3 conversations gets you to add to cart, 5 conversations, 7 conversations. No, there has to be a metric, right? So that measurement becomes important to the CTOs, CMOs, chief business officers. If you're going to change behavior and you're going to take on an amplified search to a voice-based conversation, you need to bring a new metric in today's day and age. And that's Conversational Experience Index, CEI. And every retailer will start evangelizing that because that's the next frontier beyond CTR. So that's where we are. More importantly, that's the whole Brainpowa's core framework of what's got built. You'll see product ranking is part of a conversation, sentiment analysis. You will see a lot of context getting built. That slide is probably worth what Rezolve's built, about 30-odd patents, 90 million lines of code, but solving one simple problem, one small click to a one-sentence conversation, to a paragraph of conversation. All of the tech we will build, if the journey of a consumer doesn't fly and you don't bring in the GMV, what's the point of the model? That's where we are. That's where we are evangelizing it a lot more. There are some use cases we are evangelizing on that. One of them is the hotel industry. Because, the hotel industry works on various different ways. Hotel industry has got room service issues post 10 p.m. Hotel industry has got, I can't book at 1 p.m. talking to a front desk. But what if I have the human-like capability on the platform and the call center? It allows you to take that business journey forward. Today, retail stores, the contact center is shut down at 7 p.m., 8 p.m. until next 10 p.m., 11 p.m. It's not there. What if 24/7 human-like concierge is there for you to take them on? So that's a huge use case for retail. It's not an app.com use case. People generally say that, no, is it a plugin on my search or is it a plugin on my capabilities of conversion? No, it's a 24/7 plugin where the human-like interface or a human-like concierge are working their way through. So that's been Brainpowa's core. And the models are getting trained on and on, 24/7, 365, on various conversations and product catalogs and categories. Because what you don't want is the peripheral internet indexing signals to be caught up when you're genuinely trying to sell a product or a category. So that's where we say why we are differentiating. The reason why we are differentiating is, one, the e-commerce and the retail and the adjacent hospitality and hotel and CPG domain comes naturally to us. You need to train on footwear. You need to train your models on jeans. You need to train your models on evening dresses. You need to train your models on music instruments and electronic and white goods. But you cannot have that model performing beyond its objects and tasks. And then you marry them through an agentic framework and a backbone that just flies through. So I think more importantly, Rezolve wins in three key places. One is it has now actually solved the hallucination and model drift in the category structure, and we are patented for that, specifically in retail, hospitality, adjacent industry, aviation, CPG. It is a journey. It is not a solvable journey. It also allows you to learn quickly and learn fast. If you fail in a project, it takes months. If a model fails, it takes literally days and hours to rectify it, which is the best part about it. And our models are doing that, continuously learning from external sources. It's getting benchmarked against the best models. And a model is as good as a consumer journey, and as a model is as good as an amplifier. So that's where we are. And just to sum it up, that's our core stack now. The conversational AI stack, the discovery stack of core neural-powered search, and the beauty is the Brainpowa enrichment and the data stack. Because without good, clean data, you're always going to falter. So we start taking the data across literally within minutes. We consume it, we process it, and if you've got 10,000 to 1 million SKUs of records, it just gets indexed within minutes. And then you let the conversational intelligence and the search interrogate that clean data, which actually makes it non-hallucination and model drift free. So that's the secret sauce. I mean, it's out, getting adoption. So please go to the website, play around, and that's where we are differentiating, and that's where Rezolve's championing the stack. So thank you for listening in, and love Rezolve. Thank you.